What's up, fellas? So this is going to be the first episode of the series of where I run through everything that's going to happen for you when you start up Ultimate Team. So this episode is purely going to be dedicated to the first day when you log in and everything that you should expect to see. So when you log in, you'll get various different packs depending on how long you played the game last year. I imagine the average amount of packs that you'll get back is two to four all players pack, and then possibly 2 to 4 7.5k packs, which is what I got last year, which is an average playing field really, so everyone should expect to get these packs. So what I'm going to do to you now is I'm going to run through this right away, and I'm going to explain to you how I think that you should best run your account and where you should go with Starter Nation. So straight of all, we're going to go as soon as you log in, redeem your welcome backpacks, but obviously don't open your all players packs first. What I want you to do is to ensure that you've selected the best nation, which I think is going to cover you for various SBCs at the start. So I've gone for England, and you can see here on my page that we've got footbin loaded up. And so what I'm going to show to you is quickly, I'm going to go through all of the SBCs that you can expect to be doing at the start, and immediately you will notice that you will have SBCs which require leagues exactly 1, nationalities exactly 5, so that's one for you to bear in mind. But this one right here is the number one reason why I believe you should choose England. So as you notice here, you've got your nationalities of exactly 1, leagues exactly 5, silver players minimum 3. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through this, and I'm going to show you exactly why I think you should do that. So here you are, you're on England, left mids, all bronze. So as you can see here, that SBC is going to require you to have 5 leagues. So straight away, just from looking at the left wingers, the SBC requires you to have a left mid, a CDM, a cam, a CDM, and a right mid. But just by looking at the left mid options, you've got the Championship, League 2, which is a really good one. If you pull him, he's going to go for an awful lot. I wouldn't advise you to use too many of them. So say, for example, you pull 6, ensure you can sell at least one of them. So you've got the Championship, you've got the League 1, you've got League 2, and then as you go down, you've got Jarell Sellers. He's a left midder from Allsvenskan. If you're not aware, that's the league where predominantly all the Swedish players play. And then as you go down, you'll notice that you've got Premier League players. You've also got, what have you got? You've got League 2. So that's left mid covered. You can see straight away from left mid that you've got a various different amount of players there. So if we move from left mid and we move purely onto the right side of things, the same thing again here. You've got League 2, League 1, and then as you scroll down, you'll notice that there's actually good ones like Dre Wright. He plays in the Scottish Premier League. As you go down, you also notice that the large majority of them are in Leagues 1, League 2, the Championship. But you've got the odd ones like Rory Deacon, and then you've got the one that I've just mentioned to you a moment ago, which is the Scottish League. So you've got Allsvenskan, League 2, which is the French League 2 below Ligue 1, PSG, and everyone plays in. So straight away there you got 5 leagues covered. And then when we go to CDM, you can also look at the versions of silver players, because bear in mind you're going to need 3 silver players. So straight away we can see here we've got Premier League, League 1, League 2, and then as you go through, there's going to be so many. You can see here that there's 7 pages of players. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at Scottish Premiership and see if any come up. So we don't have any there, but I'm pretty certain if I rank this from rating, we'll be able to find some decent ones. So there you go. You got Charlie Colkett, who's a centre mid who plays in the Swedish League. You've got Gail Bergamania, who plays in the Scottish League. Apologies if I've absolutely butchered that pronunciation. And then you've got Luke Mulholland, who plays in MLS. Then you've got Joab Rebo, League 1. And as you can see here, as you move through, you've got Scottish. So straight away, you've got Scottish Prem, French League. You've got players in various different leagues. So you've got all of the football pyramid from the Premier League to League Two. You've got players from there. Then you've got Daniel Crowley in Eredivisie. Bear in mind that all of these players are going to go for an absolute ton. And there you go. You've got Curtis Edwards. He's another Englishman. Funnily enough, there is actually quite a lot of English players that play in Sweden nowadays, which has surprised me. Maybe it was Ravon Morrison going over there that kind of started the trend. And then if you look at George Saunders, he would be perfect. So you've got CDM there. George Saunders is Liga de Miao. That's the Colombian league. So that would be perfect. And then you've got Nicolas Linares. He's a CM in the Chinese league. So what I would advise you to do is pick your starter nation as England, because I've showed you all of the leagues here of the players that you can get, and then now we're going to move over to your welcome backpacks. Okay, so here we go. You've got this is basic summary of worst case scenario, what you would expect to get in an all players pack. So your pack will sell on average for 3,232 coins, and your discard will be 1669. But I'm going to put this out here now. Don't discard anything at this early stage of the game. Everything is worth listing. For example, look at the discard values are nothing, and gold non-rares go for 600 on average at the start. So say for example you get 4 all players packs, you sell everything that's in those packs, you've got 12k. From the 12k that you get from there and at your starter nation, you should in theory be able to do these basic SBCs. So what I would say is, to get access to the League of Nations basics, you're going to have to obviously do these first 3. But what I would suggest you do here is choose any players in these SBCs that you don't intend on using in the other ones. So for example, these SBCs that we just looked at doesn't require a striker, so you can use a striker. You can use any CM here, but if the brick slots remain the same, this is going to make English CDMs go up a lot. So the reason why I'm telling you to pick England is because it covers so many different SBCs that you can do, and they play in so many different leagues. So generally that's what I want you to do is pick England and then go from there. So once you've made your way through, and obviously you've done your brick slots, you've done all of this, you'll now get access to your League of Nations basics. Once you've got access to your League of Nations basics, you're going to have to do multi-league and nation. Obviously, what I would suggest you do here is just find strong links across the board. So there's a large multitude. So what I did last year is I did French League 2, and then I did exactly what this guy did here, but these players cost slightly more than they will at the start. So you can go strong link. So for example, for this one you could do Germany to Germany, same league. This one you could do Holland to Holland, same league. This one you could do English to English, same league. And you ensure that obviously you're going to get exactly 6. So make sure you're picking same league but different club. And I'd say that your starter packs will cover most of this. With my welcome backpacks and my starter packs from my nation, it easily ensured that I was able to complete these with no real difficulty, to be honest. So as you can see here, once you've got to the point of being able to complete all of the League of Nations basics from the basic sets, it does actually give you a decent return. So you're looking at say 2,500 to 3,000 average sell for a premium gold pack, and then your premium silver players packs will sell exactly because of this SBC. This SBC here is the reason why silver cards of a good nation and a good league will go for a substantial amount at the lot. At the start. So what I'm now going to suggest you to do is, after you've done all of this, and I would say that you should have on average roughly 5 or 6k after you've done that. So what you can then do is you can start on your hybrid leagues and nations. What I would do here is I would go for the SBC that costs the lowest, which gives you the highest possibility of getting good players back. So out of this, I would immediately use the coins that you've got in the SBCs, and I would suggest that you try and give the prime, either it takes 8, which gives you a prime gold players pack, or you can also go in here and do prime 9. So I would suggest you do the ones with a good return, because if we look here and we see a prime gold players pack. Okay, so as you can see here, that straight away, if that SBC is costing you on average 7 to 9k, the average worth sell is 6,840. But I think, I'm not going to be overly optimistic, but I do think you'll be able to get a good return on your investment at the start of this. So what I would suggest is, say for example at the start, if you've got 6 or 7k, maybe 8 or 9, use this as your starting point. Complete all your basics. Once you've done that, stock your club up, and then move over with the intention of either doing prime 9 or with the intention of doing it takes 8. As far as I'm aware from all the leaked footage I've seen, the beta and all of the other speculations we've seen, all of these SBCs are going to stay the same. Obviously if they do change, then I'll completely put up a new video and you'll be able to understand how we're going to change our approach. But once you've done it takes 8, you should now have 12 gold cards in your club. And on average, you should be able to sell these for 7 or 8k. What I would suggest is, before you attempt to complete a set, because obviously a set is going to cost you 21k. That's what it is now when the market's dead. When the game comes out and people are aware of all of these SBCs, that's going to cost you 30k, for example. So what I said previously about SBC solutions and Footbin, a lot of people are going to be making their way through these challenges. So if you look here, for example, you can see multi-league and nation. You've got let's have a look here. So straight away, you know that your trading opportunities with Italian golds in the same league are probably going to be 600. You try to get those 300, 400 on bid. I know at the start you're probably thinking, oh, that's a lot of hassle for 200 coins. Well, that's just the way the game is. There's not really much you can do about that. So what I would suggest is try and work out a solution like this. And if you want to upload that to Footbin, people will start repeating your solution, and then the cards will rise. But generally what I would do is, if I was to go to Footbin at the start and I would say, okay, here's the SBC, put in some players, complete the challenge. But generally what I would do is I would scroll through all of these and say, okay, well, he's put Zenga and what's his name? Sufa. I would go on to the market and say, okay, well, Sufa is going for 700 coins. Let's try and get him for 400 coins. So to get your coin balance from 6k up to 25k plus 30k plus at the start, it is a massive grind, but there are so many opportunities. So what I would suggest you to do is, generally, bronze pack method is always going to work. So you see here this SBC requires 3 silver players, but you can still get 2 bronzes. So your bronzes in every single pack will sell for an average of 200, 300, ballpark figure. That's the lowest they go for. That's the lowest you should expect to receive. And then obviously if you go here and you look at one league attack, you've got leagues exactly 1, nationalities exactly 5. You can complete this with bronze players. People will be trying to do this. So say for example you pull a left winger from Germany in League 1, for example, a right winger from Turkey in the Bundesliga, or a Spanish player in MLS. You'll slowly start to notice that actually there is a large amount of players that you can trade with, and there's a large amount of players that are in a pool of bronze packs, which will obviously accrue you a large amount of coins. So what I would say is, for your first 2 methods when you're on web app in day 1, is, I'm just going to run through this again just to give you a brief summary, okay? So as soon as you log on, you will get your welcome backpacks. You will get on average 4 welcome backpacks. And if you seriously grinded the game, like you have upside of 1,000 games played, you should get some premium gold packs as well. So what I'm going to suggest to you here right now is go basics. Let's move forward. Let's get started. Let's keep going. You have to do these SBCs to unlock League of Nations basics. I'm pretty certain of that. If that's the case, then obviously you're going to complete them. But bear in mind, when you're completing these SBCs, you're getting a gold keeper who's 80 rated, and then I think let's get started, you also get something there, and then obviously let's keep going, you get a premium loan player pack. So your 80 overall and your loan player pack will obviously then go into your teams, or in SBCs entirely how you intend to do it. Your 80 rated overall keeper will go into your team, but your loan one will go into SBCs, but your loan one won't, obviously. So what I'm going to suggest you to do, League of Nations basics, complete all of this. All of this set here should get you a minimum 8 to 9k back, because every single thing from the premium silvers and the 2 premium golds, and also your set reward of your mixed players pack, it will sell. And then once you've got to that, move on, go hybrid leagues, prime 9, or it takes 8 in the other set. Once you've done that, I would really advise you at that point to stop doing SBCs, because at that point everyone's opened their welcome backpacks, everyone's opened the basics. So I think generally this is how people are going to run their accounts, because this is how they've done it previously, and it makes sense. That's the most chronological way for you to run your account. So once you've done that, start trading. So at the start, your bronze players, for example, let's just give it a brief overview. So you've got all bronze, and then let's go to Premier League, for example. Straight away, if you pull any bronzes from the Premier League, bear in mind that they will go for a substantial amount at the start, due to people obviously loving the Premier League. People like to obviously have Premier League cards in their club, but they also have a wide variety of players that are going to be useful for SBCs. Obviously, ignore the likes of the examples I'm giving you that have been relegated since then, like Huddersfield. You can't use this Stankovic guy as an example, but what I'm going to show you here is, if you go in Free Liga, so that's the third league for the Bundesliga, you've got Germans, you've got Austrians, you've got Slovakians, who's that? You've got Kazakhstan, you've got Congo. So the SBC here straight away that says Leagues 1, exactly 5, you can tell that if you pull any of these players, so okay, let's just use this as an example. You can go left wing, straight away on left wing, you know that if you're doing bronze pack method and you pack the Australian, is the Australian? Yes, so the Australian guy, you know the likelihood of him going for 1k plus is pretty high. And then if you look at the right mids, you can see the guy from the United States. Obviously, he's 800 coins now when the market is dead, which indicates to me that when the game comes out, he'll be more like 2k, 3k. Bronze pack method, trading with multiple nations and Footbin SBC solutions is your number one thing to do on day one. On day one, what I suggest you to do is try and get as many coins as possible. Say like try and get 30k plus. 30k plus is a good amount, and then build a starter squad, because as soon as EA Access comes out the next following day, the starter squads are going to substantially rise, because people are going to start buying their starter packs. They're going to start spending FIFA points. They're going to spend all their money. And even, for example, if we just look at Premier League players, for example, and then if we just look at a right winger, for example, say for example, you just want an average right winger from the Premier League. Let's say you want to go for Yarmolenko. You see here he goes from 6k, and then he starts rising to 8k. So the low point of these players is the web app. I don't think they started the reporting on the web app early enough. So the web app came out on the 19th, but you see as more people start opening packs, the substantial demand for him comes out. So what I would do is, if you intend on doing a starter squad straight away, I would try and build that as quick as possible. Ensure that you have a backup of coins to trade with before you start putting all your money into a squad. So say for example, if you've got 40k coins, my way of running my account is always keep half and build half. So if you've got 40k coins, buy a 20k starter team, keep 20k packed to keep trading with. But realistically, if once you've started trading, the deals will start coming through. Bronze Pack Method will pay out. Trading with Footbin Solutions will pay out. All you've literally got to do is look through the market. So go to the Premier League, League 1, League 2. Go through every single league, set filters up and see, okay, how much is the minimum they go for? Generally, the minimum will be 300 coins. I think 200 to 300 is the ballpark of good leagues if you would have it at the start of the game, and generally that's how you're going to want to run your account. So that's how I would suggest you do things. So this is going to completely wrap up day one, and also I've put together a graphic on Twitter which I'll link below, which summarizes all of this in a neat little graphic form. So if you don't want to come back to the video, that's fine enough. I completely understand that. Go to the Twitter graphic. Everything will be broken down, and it will tell you point by point. On the first day, I had 100k. I built a 50k starter team, and then I had 50k reserve. This was all from bonds packs, trading with Footbin Solutions, trading with players that seemed like good nations. Obviously, this is going to take time for you to research and find out, actually, okay, who's a good player, who's not a good player, and work it out. But you should be able to work it out pretty quickly. So what I'm going to say is that's going to summarize it for this video, and then my next video coming out will be purely based on day 2 of EA Access and what you should do there. Okay, peace.